We're just waiting for paint to dry. Super exciting, I know. While we're waiting for paint to dry, let's paint on other things so that we can wait for paint to dry on that too. And for example, we've got this axe. Let's paint, since we've been painting wood today, let's continue that theme and paint some more wood. There you go. And again, this is going to be much like what I was doing with the desk. We're going to be just doing long strokes, long brush strokes down the length of the axe. And we're going to brush off any dust. And this model is so large that some parts are kind of awkward to hold. I'm going to try our best. So what's on the schedule today, Goro, if you're around? Planning on doing anything today? Or are you gonna, in terms of streaming, are you gonna work on your gouache? I was talking about gouache earlier today, actually. I was chatting in Esterella's stream about gouache. Oh my gouache. Sometimes I feel like I need to stop and take a look at photo reference for trees, because, you know, in my mind I'm like just sort of making decisions about how this should look. But I think it always helps to look at reference, and just it'll help inform what you're painting. So let's do that now. I'm gonna take a moment. I'll do this off stream because my computer doesn't like to stream as well as surf the internet. And I'm gonna take a look at tree bark. See what Google Sensei has to say about tree bark. Also, let's take a look at our desk now that it is sufficiently dried. And yeah, you can see a bit of the brush stroke, right? You can see the brush strokes that I've done, and it's very subtle, but I think that looks pretty nice as far as getting a wood grain look. I think it looks even better on the bottom, actually. So I'll try and replicate some of that on the top. Yeah, pretty nice. Wood grain, type in wood grain. Wood bark, or maybe tree bark, is that a better search? And while I'm doing a bit of research, let's have another drink. Yeah, so immediately I'm looking at reference, and it's always so surprising to me, this idea that you have in mind for what like a tree might look like, and then in practice, or rather when you actually look it up, it's just so different than what you imagined, right? And in my research here, I'm noticing that there's a lot of gray, for example, in a tree. And that's just not something that you often think about when you think about trees. You usually associate trees with brown. So let's get some gray, and we'll slap some of that on there. Maybe this gray might be better. I'm not really sure what gray I should use. This is a cooler gray, and then this is a greener gray. Well, we're going to be mixing a lot anyway, so let's just go with that. Goro, yeah, I'm looking at bodybuilders now for my Ninja Turtles drawing. Oh, sweet. That's cool. Yeah. Reference is awesome. It's a very tree-oriented day today. Very, wood rather. Not tracing, but referencing. Yeah. Referencing can make it 500 times better, 500% better than pulling bark out of your head. Exactly. Working on a TMNT illustration, but also trying to hone my leg anatomy. Gonna watch the Twin Peaks ending and movie, and then place them near. Oh yeah, that's what your plan is, man. So when you say Twin Peaks ending, you mean like the final season of it, or whatever they call it? Because that was actually really good. I enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, I was sort of late to the whole Twin Peaks thing, but I really, really liked it. So let's just try. We're gonna experiment here with painting bark. I'm not really sure how this is gonna turn out. Yeah, I really like the new Twin Peaks. I liked all of Twin Peaks, to be honest. Season 2 sucks. And it's only really worth watching like a couple of episodes, but nevertheless, it's still pretty good stuff. And yeah, I ended up watching it all and liking pretty much all of it. And the new series that aired a couple years ago, I like that a lot too. I've got the DVD right beside me, actually. I could probably rewatch it again. It's really good. I want to get Night Trap to watch it too. I don't know. I think he'll like it, but it's a matter of timing. How can we find the right opportunity to introduce something that I like to someone? You know? That's always a trick. If it's like an anime or a book or something, it's like, I think they'll like it, but we gotta find the right chance, the right opportunity to show it to them. Goro. So I'm gonna finish season 2, which is the bad part of Twin Peaks. Right. Then Fire Walk with Me, just in case. Which just came in on UHD in the mail today, and then the final season. It's so dumb they don't have Fire Walk with Me on Crave, but everything else. Oh, that is weird. I still need to get Fire Walk with Me. I've watched it, but I don't have it. I think there might be a Criterion version of it. I'd like to get the Criterion if there is. The first 1.5 seasons, brilliant. Some of Lynch's best. Season 2, yeah, finishing it to be complete, but it's a slog. And in fact, you know what I did? So my strategy for season 2 was to simply just do something else while watching it. Like just browse the internet, or just do what you gotta do to watch it, to finish it. I was like browsing, or you can just draw while you're watching it. Because once you get to the end, actually, the end of season 2 is actually pretty good, because they brought back David Lynch. I'm pretty sure they brought back David Lynch just to wrap things up in season 2. So yeah, so pay attention to the last like 3 episodes or something like that. It's good. And yeah, I feel like watching it again now that you're talking about it. It's so good. Twin Peaks. I'm not that knowledgeable in David Lynch stuff, to be honest. I know that it's funny. Twin Peaks has kind of come into my life in different ways via very different people. So I had just, I was in high school, and we had just bought a DVD player, right? And we're trying to like watch DVDs, watch more movies. It was just a fun time to discover movies and stuff with DVDs. And our pal in common, Buck, he lent me a bunch of stuff, including Evil Dead and I don't know, all these different things. But he was like, you gotta watch this. And it was, I think it was Blue Velvet, I think. Or Mulholland Drive. It's like, you gotta watch this. I was like, okay. I mean, I liked Evil Dead. I liked all this other stuff that you lent me, so let's give it a shot, right? And it was weird. It was weird. At the time, I didn't really know what to make of it. I didn't even know what to say to him. Like after I had watched it, just because I was like, yeah, that was a thing. It was cool, I guess. I need to watch it now again, and maybe I'll appreciate it more now that I kind of have a better sense of what to expect or not expect from David Lynch. Um, but yeah, that was very interesting. And then I went to art school, went to art college, and we were just talking about meeting people with similar interests, about art and comics and all of this stuff. But you also met people with interests that were like adjacent to the things that you liked, or close enough that you could find some common ground, right? And the same applied to like other people in talking to me. It was kind of like, okay, I might not be into the same things you are into, but there's enough common ground here that we can have a conversation. We can talk about stuff, right? And that's what happened with I'll say his nickname, Jagar. I'm pretty sure you know who that is, right? Goro. Uh, Jagar kind of, we were sort of navigating similar circles, or we knew similar or the same people, but never really spoke to each other. But the situation kind of just evolved to the point where where like we kept on hearing about each other. It sounds so dumb, but like, yeah, we kept on hearing about each other. But he had taken an interest in knowing more about me, because it seemed like we were we were like similar in some respect. I don't know. He wanted to know something about me more. It's kind of unusual to say, but yeah. And so I remember finally we got to talking, and just to fill out the details a bit more, because I'm talking to mostly just Goro here, but for everyone else that's listening, this guy Jagar is like an artist, like an artist with a capital A, like smell your own farts kind of artist. We always make jokes about that, right? Like Sony games are art games, smell your own farts. This guy is like, yeah, an artiste kind of guy, right? And the teachers at school, they kind of loved him, they kind of hated him, just because he had a different mentality than a straight up illustrator would have, right? Anyways, so this Jagar guy finally we meet. Finally we can talk and converse. And he presents me with, it's either Mulholland Drive or it wasn't Twin Peaks, but it was like Mulholland Drive or one of those other movies, right? Blue Velvet. Actually, it might be Blue Velvet. And he's like, and again, I don't really know this guy. I've only heard about him. He's like, watch this. Watch this. To somebody that he doesn't even really know, right? Watch this. And I'm like, all right. Because he was dating like a friend of mine, right? So we had a friend in common. And, I go home, pop this shit in. And again, I'm just like bewildered by what I'm watching. I'm like, what the hell is this? What is this? I'm actually probably even more confused than that first time with when Buck lends me this a different David Lynch movie. I'm just so confused. And I watch it. I still kind of like it, but the next day comes or whatever, and he's asking me for my opinion on what I had just watched, and I really don't know what to say. And yeah, that was I probably just bullshitted my way, came up with something, and yeah, I mean we're not friends. We don't really talk to each other. But again, that was like one of those times where felt like I was meeting a really artsy fartsy person, and I just really didn't know how to interact with people like that. Goro, you've got the Criterion. Goro at the very end, while in the lodge. Yeah, that all of that stuff is awesome. At the end, the final season. Goro, I love both of those. In fact, Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive are two of Lynch's best films. Yeah, so I was just talking about how those movies really confused me, but I need to watch them again, give them another shot. I definitely need to do that, and just kind of come to my own conclusions and think about it on my own rather than thinking about what someone's gonna ask the test, thinking about the test that was gonna come after. Watch it again, yeah. Goro, most of Lynch's best work resist interpretation and understanding, and that plus his keen visual sense and storytelling creates that tension that really draws people in. Yeah, I came to understand that much later. In fact, that it was my viewing of Twin Peaks that really kind of helped me understand that a whole lot more. So yeah, I will definitely come back to it and check it out. Because you're right, it resists understanding in that conventional sense. You kind of need to just absorb the movie in a weird way. You kind of need to just let it wash over you. And I'm so excited for you actually, Goro, to watch The Return. It's called Twin Peaks: The Return, the third season. I'm so excited for you to watch that because we'll definitely talk about it. And you'll know when. It's a certain episode, okay? And I'll say that Kojima, if Bacon's here, I'll say that Kojima watched Twin Peaks, The Return, and he was completely floored by the same episode that I'm talking about now. To the point where I feel like aspects of it ended up in Death Stranding in a weird way. I don't know. I felt like he was somehow influenced by it. But yeah. Goro, like the death of Laura Palmer, was never meant to be solved, and when you think of how that it is resolved, it's quite banal compared to the rest of the series. Goro, I know what you mean. Yeah, so you're probably talking about the whole thing about Jagar, but let me see. Yeah, the thing about the mystery of Laura Palmer and how they address it, how they resolve it, is that like you're right. The solution or whatever is just like whatever. Who cares, right? And and then the show was rudderless after that, right? Like they were trying to continue the show without that main compelling thrust of the mystery. So that was like really weird for them. And in the final act, the final few episodes of the third season, the second season, they work towards restoring that mystery. And they work towards kind of, yes, expand the mythology such as it is, which sounds corny, but it worked. I think they really did a great job just sort of expanding it and returning the mystery to the series in a way that was like you could just continually turn it over in your head. And yeah, maybe some parts are explained, but other parts aren't, and it's just really fascinating stuff. Goro, I got a poster off of eBay of Blue Velvet. It just has these legs and pantyhose split open over the title, though classy and dark, hanging over my sofa. You know, it's a great Lynch film. Two of his best, Elephant Man and Straight Story. Yeah, I've heard about both. Straight Story I want to see because apparently it's a very stripped down kind of Lynch movie. It's actually not. It doesn't have all of the, for lack of a better word, like all the weirdness that you might come to expect from a Lynch movie. It's a bit more, like a bit more of a straight story, and that sounds cool. Goro, to me, Lynch has a spectrum between two poles: the fine artist, the experimental filmmaker, and an amazing storyteller who captures heart and humanity and emotion into his films. Yeah, in a way, I guess he's kind of like what would you say he's like in terms of comic books? Is he more of like a Morrisonian uh, uh, storyteller, or is he more like a Alan Moore? I think I might say there's a bit of Morrison, although maybe that's shortchanging Lynch to some extent. Straight Story and Elephant Man exist on the humanity storyteller end. Okay, okay. So happy you have a positive impression on it. Oh, the second season, or what are we talking about? Sorry, I'm getting lost here. Supposedly, Lynch is going to be revealing a new project sometime soon. I'm very interested in that. Didn't you know what? I'm thinking about it now. Didn't he direct a PlayStation trailer, like a PlayStation commercial? I feel like he may have directed a PlayStation commercial, like for PlayStation 2 or PSP or something like that. I'd have to look into that. I don't know why I'm thinking that. That'd be kind of funny though. So yeah, let's continue on working on this bark, and then we might just wrap things up, everyone. I'm just kind of muddying my way through this bark, trying to figure out how to paint it and making it up as I go along. But maybe right now I'll just thank everyone for coming through. I'm not finishing yet, but I'll just take this opportunity now to just thank everyone for coming by. Estrella with the raid. I really do appreciate the raid, and everyone that I have met through Estrella's stream. That's just so cool and so great. I love the community and talking to people about art and sharing what I do here. That's just cool because you know what? Like, as an artist, for me at least, so much of what I do is something that I do by myself. Like, so much of what I do is just kind of like cooped up in my room, working away at stuff, communicating with no one, and then it's time to like show off my artwork, and it's a crapshoot, man. I'll tell you, it's a crapshoot sometimes, in terms of just getting noticed, in terms of people even looking at your work or even talking about it. It's so hard, but it's very fulfilling. It's very satisfying to talk with people as I'm working, get some feedback on what I'm doing, getting some comments, positive comments, negative comments, whatever, criticism. It's nice. And I hope I can like kind of do more of that and do more and branch out more and draw on stream more. I've done it only a couple of times, but I'd like to do some more of that. So for anyone that's watching my channel, again, thanks for coming by, thanks for stopping by, and stick around because I want to grow the channel. I want to grow and do more things. There's a lot that I'd like to improve upon, and we've made strides to make the stream better and do different things, and I want to grow more. Sorry for sounding like a cornball, guys. Goro. Yeah, when Morrison can do both. He's a bit inconsistent, I find, though. Yeah. The Return. I found the Lynch PlayStation commercial. He did a whole campaign for PS2. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch those because I know it exists, but it's probably been a while since I've seen them. So yeah, I want to see. I'm sure it's really weird. So let's see. Let's take a look at this bark here. I think what it needs is more highlights. But yeah, I'm trying to get that craggy look. It's not the weird baby one, is it? The PlayStation commercial? It might be. I mean, there's been actually quite the storied history of bizarre and weird PlayStation commercials. So it could be. Yeah, maybe not the baby one. So odd. I remember there was like the PS. At the time, it was like a commercial for PlayStation 2, but it was actually an ad for like PS6 or something like that. And I remember being so pissed off about that. I was like, why are they advertising PS6? I want to get a PS2, okay? I thought that was weird. It's a very wood-oriented day today. Wood is cool. I like wood. I like painting wood. I like trees. I've drawn my fair number of trees. And I feel like you can always try and come back to the trees and you'll always learn something new about how to paint and how to draw them, you know? And that's something that David Lynch, to tie it into our conversation, that's something that David Lynch seemingly has quite a fascination with, is trees. You often see that in Twin Peaks, and it's just really interesting. Okay. I think what we'll do is one final layer of a highlight for this barky thing that I'm drawing now, a painting, and then yeah, maybe we'll wrap things up. So let's get a drink. Bacon, you're finally home. Welcome home, Bacon. From your shopping, did you buy anything yourself? Did you go to the Lego Center and buy something? Do they have any Gunpla in Von Mills? Okay. Final, for now at least, attempt at highlighting and making some lines on these trees. Just coming in, Bacon. We're continuing the theme of wood today, and I'm painting some bark. I'm attempting to convey a sense of bark on these on this wooden handle for this giant's axe. And I would say we are at 60% satisfaction rate. I'm not super satisfied with the result right now, but you know, I was talking about this before, but I always feel pretty good about working on and painting stuff, that if I just continue to work on it, I can get to a point where it'll look how I imagined it. But when it comes to, like, say, the Gunpla hobby, Plamo hobby, I'm less confident about the results, and so I tend to kind of not try to do anything too risky, because I'm afraid of screwing things up. But when it comes to painting models, for some reason I don't mind screwing up. So yeah, painting some bark. Bacon, I didn't buy anything. That mall has nothing interesting. Yeah, It's a big circle. It's a big boring circle. Kind of wish the Lego store had more stuff in stock. Is there a eh, like a Gunpla store close by though? I feel like there might be one. But again, you probably didn't want to just be driving around and all that. Yeah, Von Mills, meh. I feel like I'm more of a flea market person anyways. I like flea markets, I like dirt malls. I like small little malls and small little stores. The big malls, the big fancy malls, I'm not too keen on. So yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out now. We're just kind of adding in these lines on the bark, just kind of like adding extra texture. I think it looks okay. But I'm trying to be careful not to sort of uniformly place these lines. Uh, I'm trying to... It has to look natural, right? And that's something that I find is very hard to do as a human being, is to kind of create like these like natural organic shapes, because the human tendency is to kind of make things more organized and create a pattern, whereas in nature, yeah, there's patterns, but it's like a natural feeling pattern. I'm just trying to get that across, and like maybe varying the width of the strokes as I'm creating this texture would help too. I'm sort of making this up as I go along, so talking about it as I'm doing it kind of helps me decide. And this is one of those kind of thing where I'm gonna do this much right now, but I'll sit on it. Literally, no, I'm not gonna literally sit on it. I'll look at it later tonight, and then I'll decide like, okay, I need to push something back. I need to do some more stuff here. That's looking pretty good. I think there's this store called Argama Hobby close by, but I can't really drag my parents there. Oh. Or when I lived in the suburbs, I'd go to malls just to feel like I was around people. For whatever reason, Von Mills has a disproportionate level of hot girls. Does it really? I don't know. I've never really noticed that. I've never really, I don't know. I do take note of that for sure, but I never really noticed that with Von Mills. TBH. And let's get some texture going this way too. I think the trick here is to kind of create like these like what's the word I'm looking for? Like forms. These like sub forms within the larger shaping of the axe and the wood. Like when I was looking at my reference of tree bark, you could see like, just imagine these little chips of wood, these little wood chips, right? All sort of clustering into a pattern onto the tree. And I think that's, if I can kind of get that across, those little cluster formations, I think we might be onto something in terms of making a convincing tree bark look. Not too many today. Not sure if it's because of it's a weekday. That sucks. At least you didn't have to deal with the overcrowding of a weekend. Yeah, that's the main thing. And Conspiracy was close, so there's even less stuff to check out. What's the name of the comic shop that's close to you, Bacon? I've only been there like a couple of times, but they have like Warhammer and they have Gunpla and stuff. What's the name of that place? Is it Conspiracy? That place is pretty cool. I think you know, big brain goals here, but I think it'd be pretty neat to get us sponsored by a store. I've noticed that with a lot of like builders here on Twitch, they have like sponsors. I think that would be pretty cool if I could get a sponsor. Like take for example the store that I frequent most, Trinity. I think that they have sponsored other builders in the past, like Gunpla. But maybe I could do something where I could do like Warhammer stuff, because they don't really have anyone sponsored in that category. I don't know, just thinking out loud, of course. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are sponsored by like USA Gundam Store or Ami Ami or you know, those Japanese services and stuff. It's pretty cool. I think, well, basically you would need to have a lot more reach, right? Basically you would have to have a lot of viewers such that it would make sense for them to sponsor you, because they know that there's going to be like thousands of eyeballs on your video, so or stream. So I'm definitely not there yet, but you know, that'd be kind of like a cool thing to work towards. Basically I want to shill. Let me shill. Raid Shadow Legends. Let's go. Oh, that's called Heroes World. Okay. Let me shill for Raid Shadow Legends. I'm ready. Bacon's ready. He's got the whole spiel for Raid Shadow Legends, which I think I created a clip of. Bacon. I think I clipped that. And I was saying this earlier, I think the last time I streamed, but since you're here, Bacon, I'll just say that I'm happy that you're able to still stream and stuff. That's really great. Even though it was a brief period of time where it probably was the same amount of time between streams when you had your time off, I was thinking like, oh man, when are we gonna get the next Bacon stream? Is it over? Is it done? We're not gonna get any more streams? It's just a nice time to like hang out in the night, in the evening, before I go to bed, hang out with everyone. And yeah, I'm glad that you can still do that. And I actually I totally forgot that you had been streaming while you were still at work initially, because I thought I was thinking that you started streaming after you quit, but that's not the case. I totally forgot about that. Okay, so the tree bark is looking like something. I don't know if it looks necessarily like from afar, I think it looks pretty okay. But it could, you know, we could always do more work on it, of course. More shaping. I think that's the key word, is to kind of do more shaping. Bacon, yeah, gonna keep the stream going. Yeah, awesome. I feel like I should have known better that it wasn't gonna be over and stuff like that. Getting doom and gloom. But yeah, it's good. Good. And Mojo too. I would really like to see Mojo do more stuff. But of course, I know that, you know, he's got other stuff on his plate, of course. So, but yeah, I'm also glad that that Goro here has taken the reins and also jumped into the fray. A new combatant has entered the fray. I'm glad that he's been doing that, because it totally reminds me of the days where we were just chilling, talking about stuff at his place or my place or your place, talking about nerdy stuff late into the night. Good stuff, good stuff. And of course, Night Trap, my bro, streams too. And yeah, actually, guys, did you realize this? Yesterday was for the first time ever a 4-hit Ninja Dog combo. Did you guys realize that? Never been done before. 4-hit Ninja Dog combo. It's amazing. Yeah, because I streamed, Night Trap streamed, Goro streamed, and then Bacon streamed. It's tremendous. Unprecedented. We should alert the authorities. Call up Kotaku. It was great, yeah. YT on the other hand, YouTube on the other hand, Bacon. Yeah. I think you still have it. Like, you still have the channel. Like, it's not going anywhere. You guys will figure it out. Cause it's different. Like, what you guys are sort of angling towards and wanting to do with your YouTube, it's not necessarily jiving with what you guys do on Twitch, right? And I think that's the trick, is maybe you need to find a way to kind of integrate the two more, such that you know that there's this connection there, so that it's not like you're juggling two different things at the same time, but rather sort of harmoniously integrating one into the other. Yeah, if you can figure that out, then you might be onto something, and it won't feel like such a slog to get one done and the other thing done, because it's all just sort of jiving together. But again, the hell do I know? I'm just too lazy to edit videos. Goro, like a marathon of after-school shows, TMNT, Batman, double bill of Star Trek TNG, man. Yeah, when back in the day when they had like a run of like 3 good shows back to back, that was sweet. And then like the other show comes on that you don't care for, and it's like, all right, time to do something else. Or you know what I likened it to? So I feel like Bacon is like Leno, right? Bacon is like the prime time, right? And Goro, well, if he streams after Bacon, then he's like, so if Bacon is the late show, then Goro's like the late show, the show that you watch when you're just like you gotta watch more, but because you can't go to sleep. And then for me, I'm like the afternoon talk show, like Sally Jesse Raphael or Maury. I'm like Maury. But yeah, Goro streams in before Bacon too, so he would be like the prime time as well. Actually, most of you guys stream in the evening. Also, a Night Trap as well. I'm the one that's like Sally Jesse Raphael, and then you guys are all like variations of the Late Show. Maybe I'll stream after Bacon tonight. You're the infomercial with Ron Jeremy. Is that a thing? Ugh. Now, you're definitely not the infomercial, though. you remember a time when Oprah was basically just another talk show, not really that different from Maury or Springer? Like, yeah, she was basically the same as all of them, and then somehow like she just evolved into something a lot more important, I guess, a lot more relevant. And now she's sort of, yeah, she's sort of beyond all of them. But yeah, there was a period of time where she was just like all of those other ones. I'm just working away at this tree, guys. But eventually we need to come to a point where we must stop. And I think that time is very soon. In fact, it might even be